Hi everybody and welcome to a brand new video on my channel. Well, this is me, this is Elmer, and normally I do Dutch vlogs about theme parks and roller coasters and all around. But right now I thought to myself, well, maybe it's time for me to make a top 10 about the best coasters I've done and what I'm really excited about still on this day. The reason for me to do it in English is pretty simple. The majority of my viewers are not from Holland, and the majority of my viewers cannot view my vlogs, and that's really a shame. So that's why I wanted to create a top 10. Just do it in English with a little explanation, and let's just go for the top 10 coasters. Here we go. Alright, number 10 in the list is Black Mamba in Phantasialand in the area deep in Africa. This B&M Suspended Beauty is really one of my favorites, and that's why it's located on place 10 in my top 10. The best thing about Black Mamba is that you don't have a clue where you're going in the first time you rode it. Even here with the first drop, you're like, where the hell am I going? And then you see the looping and then, okay, I'm flying over the crowd, I guess. But what's this? Okay, let's see, this is the corkscrew, and then, okay. I didn't expect that. Where the hell am I? I don't even got a clue where I'm going. And that's, well, basically the whole ride. It's just so much fun. And, well, there isn't a moment without, you getting bored or whatever. It's just going. Like this, you think the ride is almost over? Well, hell no. We're just going for a second round. There you go. It's just so much speed in this suspended coaster, and the area deep in Africa and Phantasialand is of course one of the greatest, and right here you're back at the station. So Black Mamba and Phantasialand. The next one may come as a surprise, but that's, well, definitely taken by Lost Gravity for me. I found it myself the best coaster in Walibi Holland, so this is the only notable reference you see in my list. Lost Gravity, of course, is a Mack Big Dipper, and, well, it opened up a while ago, but it's still as good as it should, and, well, the airtime in this beast is just out of this world. I really love it. The floorless trains, especially on the side, is awesome. This chain lift goes, well, it isn't fast forward or something. It is how it is. And look at this, man. You're just going, and what a fun. Here you're almost thrown out of the car, and that's really something else. It's just so much fun, and even though Untamed is, well, called by everybody the best coaster in Europe or whatever, I find it hard to believe, because this one really is something else. And still on this day I find this one of the best in Walibi. There is some slidable notice on this coaster. One of the trains is maintenance by Mack Rides and two are maintenance by Walibi, and you experience the difference in those kind of trains, because the Mack train, I don't know if it's 2 or 3, I have to come back at you, I don't know for sure, but those are really soft and it really is a good drive, and those who are maintained by Walibi are, well, slightly less. But even though, Lost Gravity on place 9 at Walibi Holland. Moving from one Walibi to another, this is the newest addition from Walibi Belgium called Conda. This Intamin mega coaster and airtime, well, giant I can only relate to as that. Is really something else. It definitely, well, at the most of the time, Goliath and Walibi Holland were one of my favorites and used to be in my top 10, but since I rode this one, Conda, that place has taken away for Conda. The chain lift seems kind of slow, but at one point it's speeding up, and I don't know why exactly, but it's really fun. And at this moment you look at, oh my god, it's happening, and then you take the turn, just like geforce or something, but this one is slightly smoother. It's not, well, the only Intamin in this list, because Intamin makes damn good coasters, and especially this one is the newest type, and you would recognize it on the track type. It's not the basic triangle Intamin track anymore. No, it's the new one. This track is really relatable to the Velocicoaster in Universal Islands of Adventure in Orlando. But this one is just in Belgium, in Wavre to be called, I'm sure if a Walloon guy watches this and he's like, Wafra? No, it's something else. Well, sorry, I'm from Holland and I only know the Dutch words, but it really is something else. There's not a moment of straights in it. Well, and I like that. It's just not that standard, and you think basically this is just driving, and then it's finished, but even though to the end, you still got a fun time in this. Alright, and the next addition to this list is number 7, or better known as Bowman Timber Coaster, and it's the only addition in this list for Europa Park, which is one of my favorite parks. But the coasters, well, they're good, but they're not really special. But this one is. I'm really a big fan of wooden coasters, and especially this one. It's not the only Great Coasters International coaster that's in the list. Well, definitely it isn't, but this is one of the best, even though it just got, well, the first drop of this, well, ridiculously good coaster in the Iceland area in Europa Park is really special, because you see it right now, you're at the top and you're just going into the corner. Normally there are flames at the wheels, but not right now, and there you go. Here we have it. This is the first drop, and then what a massive drop you're going. The fun part is in this video, I'm on the back seat next to my nephew and his girlfriend, but it's just one hell of a ride. It just goes, and the best thing about a wooden coaster is it just goes all the way, and it's really kind of bumpy, but it's just a fun ride. And even though Europa Park is one of the greatest parks, this is especially one of the best thrills in the whole park. I really place it better than Blue Fire and Silver Star, because this is so much energy and so much going, and you're really smooth at the end right now. So Bowman Timber Coaster at Europa Park is on this list on number 7. On to the next. The next addition in this list is the new coaster from Phantasialand called F.L.Y. This Vekoma Flying Dutchman is really in a league of its own. It's really fun to fly, and the whole experience, well, Phantasialand, like I said before, is great at theming, even though if you see Rookburg, it really looks nice, really good at the steampunk, but even though this coaster really lets you have the feeling that you are flying, especially in the 2 lounges, it's just, well, in a league of its own. It's uncomparable to another coaster, and it's one of the few Vekoma suspended coasters I really like. Especially, I have to notice Hell Superkopf in Tripsdrill is also a really good suspended coaster by Vekoma, but this isn't really a suspended coaster. It's just a Flying Dutchman, and, well, suspended coaster and Flying Dutchman are not really alike. Moving from one Flying Dutchman to another Dutch coaster, it's time for Phoenix in Torvalon. Well, this coaster is really in a league of its own. It's just really one of the greatest coasters I've ever done, and even though the team Avalon is really great as well, this coaster looks like a pearl in the whole area of Avalon. I can't even pronounce it better or whatever. It's just such a good ride, and even though the whole fact that you're sitting next to the track, that's really something else. It really gives an extra dimension to the whole coaster, to the coaster ride. Especially when you came in with Toverland on Port Laguna, you see this beauty, well, further up ahead. And well, this just keeps special. It even gives me goosebumps, even though I'm editing behind a computer and watching it. But it's still such a good track. This loop was awesome. This helix is also awesome. And this point, where you get a bunny hop, but after then, you get a corkscrew in it. It's just something else. Smile for the picture, hi. And then this part is just, well, passing by, but the whole experience of Phoenix is that good. I hope in the nearby future, Torvalon is gonna expand with some new areas, but for now, this one stays. And definitely my top 10 on the number 5 position. Phoenix from B&M. The next addition to this list is one of the greatest coasters of all time, Expedition geforce. It's multi-awarded by how such a good coaster it is, and I love this video, by the way, by Coaster Hipster, I really do. But this Intamin Mega Coaster is just so freaking awesome. It's literally the airtime king for what I know. It's better than Silver Star in airtime. And yeah, it took me a while to sit on the first row of this, but I want to do it first row, especially the first drop with the, well, with inline corner. It's just so awesome. I can't even have words for it or whatever. I'm trying to figure out something else, but yeah, just see, it's ridiculously good. Even though the operations of Holiday Park were terrible, I can't otherwise say that. This, oh, sorry, I even get goosebumps when I look at this, but it's just so good. And it's really a shame because at this point the wiki area was still in construction, but this coaster really is one of the main reasons I went to this park, because otherwise there wasn't any good reason to go to this park. It's really boring and that kind of things, but just do this 10 or 20 times. You can do that if you want to, and not, well, we're as stubborn as me just to go for the first row the first time. Then you really had a good time, but yeah, Holiday Park is just not, well, a filled day fulfilling park. It isn't. But this coaster really is something else. It's really good. It's definitely the big brother of Goliath in Walibi Holland, and yeah, still is an awesome coaster. We're luckily very fortunate that we have a lot of good coasters in and around Holland, or the Netherlands, however you want to call it. Just imagine this is me talking to you live in English, because it was the vlog that I first did, The Ride to Happiness, which is located on the number 3. So we're in the top 3 right now. This Mac Extreme spinning coaster, which is a copy of, well, a coaster I forgot. Well, this is normally a sentence I will use in my vlog, but whatsoever. But this is the Tomorrowland Ride to Happiness, the Extreme Mack spinning coaster, like I said before. It was something else. Even though the launch was not a typically Mack launch, it wasn't. It was fast, it was fluent, it was almost like an intimate launch. I couldn't even believe my own eyes, but it doesn't really matter if you do this one from the first row or the last row. In every position it's good. It's definitely not the best one, but it's really the top 3 for me. Yeah, just look at this curve. It's ridiculous. You just take, what is it, a hardline roll with a corner in it at the first, at the first piece of track, and then here comes the launch. Just look at this. Here you go. You're spinning and being launched at the same time. And then you come up here, this is the top hill, and then, wow, it just goes, and you're not even knowing where you're going. It really is something else, and it's definitely one of the, well, the greatest coasters I've done, especially in Belgium. Well, Belgium had the luck that they got 2 new coasters for 2021, and this was one of them. But I heard a lot of people saying Conda is better for them, but I have to disagree on them, especially when you see this second launch. It's just ridiculously good. But I just find more thrill in this coaster. It's so much fun, and like I said, you won't even get bored a second. It's just going. And this was even the first row. Look at this. What we're now getting is the last row, and then you think you're at the last row and you're facing the other way, so you're not gonna see anything. But that's the fun part of a spinning coaster. You don't have to sit at the back or wherever just to have a fun time. Especially for this, I've did the first row and the last row with the GoPro, so you can, well, just experience how it is in both ways. If you want to see more on rides, by the way, go to my channel and search for the playlist on rides. Then you can see all the on rides I've made, and that's basically all the on rides you're seeing right here, except from 3 are from myself. So yeah, I would highly recommend it. But Ride to Happiness, you see I got a lot of content of this, and just look, this is the second launch with a bunny hop in it. It's really great. It is really great. Definitely a top 3 mention, but not the best, because the best 2 we are getting right now, and one of them is in Holland. But which one? Right, guys, let's get back to the Netherlands, and let's get back to Torvalon, to, well, the best coaster in Holland, in my opinion, Troy. this Great Coasters International beauty is definitely one of my favorites. Well, it is the favorite for myself in Holland, and I fancy it even over Troy, and that's just because it's, well, it's such a clash machine. I can't even explain how good for me it is. It's just so bumpy. It looks, well, it is a beauty. If you imagine a roller coaster, this would be your picture. And just the fun part with Great Coasters International is, of course, they cross each other on the stations. Well, you see that at Woden, and you see it also with Troy. And Woden and Troy are basically brothers. They got some sort of the better layout, or at least in my opinion. But really, Troy is so good. And also, the best thing about Torvalon is it's not a really crowded park, so you can do this one, well, as much as you want, basically, especially when it was on a day like this. Not that hot, it was a little bit cloudy, but yeah, it was I guess 4 o'clock in the afternoon or something, and it's run all over the day, and especially when it run all day, it's as smooth as it gets, and even at some parts bumpier. But look at this! Oh my god, this corner! This corner with a small hop in it, and just, oh man, yeah, I can't even. I see myself in this, and it's just so good. Great Coasters International really produced something with this, and also Tomorrowland every year is keep maintaining it. Please don't ever stop building these coasters, GCI. Just go on with this, because we as crowd maniacs love this. Well, crowd maniacs, coaster maniacs, for what I can relate to. These are just, I know they're hard to maintain, and apparently the hybrid variants are way better in maintenance, but this, oh my god, I love this, and I know there are a lot of guys who also love Troy. Well, yeah, this is definitely the best coaster in Holland for me, and the best coaster, the best wooden coaster in this whole list, my top 10. And now, well, it's time for the number 1. What's coming up? If you only know me by a little, then you know this is my favorite coaster by far. It's Taron in Phantasialand, the LSM launch coaster or blitz coaster by Intamin, however you want to call it, with 2 of the greatest launches ever in a launch coaster, by my personal opinion. The teaming is great, there isn't one straight part in this coaster, the trains are awesome, you got like the hip restraints which are really comfortable, there's a lot of airtime in it, the corners are ridiculously good, yeah, it's just a full-on no hands for me, in my personal opinion. It's just isn't like any coaster I ever ridden, and believe me, I did a lot of Gerslauer, however you want to call it, launch coasters, but none compared to this one. Just look at the cam next to the LSMs. There we go. 3, 2, 1. Come on. Yeah. You go into the first launch and then you're like, okay, well, this is awesome, yeah, okay. Then you got a bunny hop and you're like, wow, okay. At this point I'm already some sort of thrown out of this ride, but no, it goes even further, corner, another corner, and then you're lining up for another corner. No, you're just going the other way, because you think you're going to the second launch. Well, at first you don't even know where the second launch is until you came at this point, because now you're lining up not in a straight way but also in cornery way to the second launch, and this one is massive. It really is massive. You get an extra shot of G-forces and a bump of speed in your, well, on your back. I only can relate to it that. But this whole area team of Klugheim and Phantasialand is greatly teamed, and that's why, yeah, Taron is definitely one of the best coasters in the world for me. Yeah, this is the number 1 for me, and that was basically the whole video of my top 10. Let me know in the comments what you think about my first English video, and yeah, also let me know what your number 1 is or your number 10. Just leave it down in the comments, and if you like this video, please give your thumbs up. If you don't like it, please give your thumbs down. And for now, yeah, if you want to see more videos, they're mostly in Dutch, but just press subscribe, and I'll see you in another video. Cheers, guys!